Okay. Again, thank you for being here, and proud of the way our guys showed up to work on Monday with the right attitude, with the right type of energy, put together a good week of work at practice. And even though offensively we're off to a slow start, the defense really was playing big. And then when we got going, I think we were 0 for 4 to start on our first 4 drives, punting the ball. After that, we went 4 for 4, really kind of ignited by Dalen Upshaw's play and Keontae's interception, which really helped us establish some momentum and then eventually take control of the game. But obviously a lot of stuff to cover. That being said, questions, please.
Mario, what did you guys show today? Obviously there was some tricky stuff from Shannon, 6 sacks, I think it was 10 TFLs, takeaways. Even with the slow start, there was an awful lot of good things on paper. What do you think you guys showed about where you are right now?
Well, I think that we showed in spurts what a really good football team we are. I think we also showed what you see in college football, that games at some point in time during the course of all 4 quarters, there's some back and forth and some stagnant moments. And that's why you keep playing, and that's why the game is 4 quarters. And then showed that some of our young players are really playing well. Gerard Pringle showed some really explosive plays. Dalen Upshaw, mentioned him earlier as well. Josh Moore, he didn't get as many opportunities, but he's playing really, really well. You saw Scroggins in there. You saw Booker Pickett in there. There was a whole bunch. We were down at one point, I think 6, 7 starters. So a lot of guys got burned, and that we got a chance to keep improving and have an opportunity to play another great football team coming in next Saturday.
Mario, you talked about those last 2+ minutes of the first half igniting you guys, just the importance of being able to get those final 2 minutes and then to be able to build on it in the second half and not let maybe halftime push things back forward but keep the momentum going.
No doubt. We've been really good in the middle 8, unless I've got that statistical part wrong for a while. It's really, really important, right? How to close out the half and how to begin the next half. So Keontae's pick, and then not only that, the fumble recovery, right? Because we were hoping, we called the timeout to try to get the ball back, right? They had to run at least one play over the 2-minute warning. We had 3 timeouts. We should get the ball back if we get them on a 3-and-out with about 1:50 something, maybe 1, maybe even 2 timeouts. So I thought we played that part really well. I thought the players attacked the opportunities with a lot of energy, and I think after some moments of I think we finally just cut it loose. I think it's that simple. I do. I think we called it more freely. I think we played more freely. I think we just cut it loose and stopped worrying about the outcome and started focusing more on the process. And then, got a chance to make it a really, really big lead. And actually should have extended more, but, that's about it.
Just the defense, obviously, even while the offense was kind of struggling early, the defense stuck, kept the game tied. Just what was working for them and what worked to keep Syracuse kind of offset?
Well, I think both the line of scrimmage, because we did a really good job stopping the run, albeit a couple of hits they had in the run game. But I think we covered really well. We mixed up our coverages. We played some man, played some zone. We were able to take away, some of their back shoulder stuff, some of their man beaters. We kept the pressure on the quarterback. He had to make some throws on the run and just kept them off the schedule, right? A lot of second and longs, third and longs, and that certainly helps you out. And their punter did a fantastic job. That guy flipped the field as good as anyone we've seen all year. And he really he negated one of our strong points, our punt return team. But credit to him for doing so. But, again, as the game wore on, just felt our guys just started taking more and more control. We were just trying to get as many players as we could in there while still playing good football.
And then speaking of punt returning, Malachi Toney obviously doing a bunch of different things, throwing the touchdown pass to Carson, which I'm sure was fun for all of them. Just what did you think of him being so versatile, running a wildcat play and everything? And then I saw he got hit pretty hard the last play, I think, of the game that he was in. Is he okay after that?
He is. He was. It was a knee-to-knee shot. When I say that, that's not a bad thing. It just means it's more of a bruise than anything else. But, I mean, those are, credit his high school American heritage. I mean, those plays were in their playbook, right? He was doing that for a while. But he's very versatile, and he does attract a lot of attention. Like, getting him the ball was very difficult tonight in the regular passing game, at least in the drop-back game, because of how much attention he was attracting. They really mixed it up and made sure there were always 2 hats near him.
Yeah, Coach, since you've been here, you've preached about getting the guys that are kind of further down the depth chart up to speed and making sure they're going to contribute and be up to par. certainly got to see a bunch of those guys today. What'd you think of those guys that had an
I think
opportunity?
some guys played really well, and then some other guys are in there kind of kicking themselves in the butt. Especially that last drive. We had a lot of guys that were really down the line on the depth chart, but they got to play. I mean, again, we're down a significant amount of starters, and we're playing good football, and you want that thing to read 3 points at the end. Those guys took a lot of pride in knocking their offense back and keeping them off the scoreboard. So you know what? You get to correct these things after a win, and that's always a positive. And I think the most important thing is the energy and enthusiasm that these guys come to work with, which is really, really important. Very mature approach, and one that, and I told them I greatly appreciate them. Guys like Jadis Richard and, albeit the penalty, I know that, Ryan Mack played their first downs after coming back from ACL surgery. That's big. That's a really big moment in a young man's career. I think that's worth noting. I think it's worth noting that we really, I don't know if we had any pre-snap offensive penalties, but we certainly cut them down. And then Cece, and I promised him, during recruiting. So I'm done with my promise with him, so I can move on.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about CC specifically with that run, but also just the run game in general, just without Mark Fletcher, and to see Pringle step up, Marty, Lyle, just to see that group do what they had to do without one of your biggest pieces back there.
Yeah, we're still finding our way. I think some runs were muddy, some is an extra hat, and some we got to make a guy miss or we got to block a guy longer. We're still not all the way in sync. We did have, as the game wore on, we started kind of breaking free a little bit more. There was more air in the run game, but not to the level that we want it to be. And again, an opportunity to go fix that and get better at it and address it, after a win. And certainly, we work, man. You know us. We grind, and it's still, it's not about that. That's a given. We have to continue to find ways to gain yards and points. And I'm proud of our guys for not just diving into anxiety. When you look around the country, you focus on yourselves, and at the end of the weekend, you look, all right, how did things go around the country? And so many games start slow or end slower, and you just keep playing. No judge, no clock, no scoreboard, just no judgment. Just keep playing as hard as you can, between the lines and snap to whistle, and play as hard as you can for your teammates and for your team.
Mario, specifically with Pringle, especially the first two runs, just what you saw from him and a guy that's not been in there.
Great eyes. He sees it really well. Very explosive. You saw that. Has a different gear as well. He really kind of kicked it in a high gear on that outside run because he was out leveraged, and he still put a foot in the ground and outran those guys. And I think he had a couple really tough yards as well. People sometimes mistake him for being a guy that's just a speed guy, a quick guy. He's not. He's got some power to him. He broke some tackles, was tough, secured the football, the most important part. And he was effective at least on, I got to watch the tape, but at least on his 2 pass protection reps, he did a good job seeking out the blitzer and providing protection.
You kind of touched on it a second ago, but just that anxiety factor. Obviously, things didn't go your way last week. Things start slow today. How important is it for the players to start seeing things go right, whether it's the pick six, the trick play, start seeing kind of the ball go through the hoop a little bit?
I thought there was a different sense in a positive way on the sideline where, you can get frustrated, but you can't get discouraged, right? There's a big difference there. And I also think that it's a resilient bunch that knows and recognizes what we are. We're a really, really good football team that has shot itself in the foot a couple times. But we've all seen enough games this year to know that when Miami's on, Miami really distinguishes itself as one of the better teams. So we got to do it on a more consistent basis. We just need to keep our eyes, looking forward, our mouths shut, go to work, and just go get better. And always, like we tell our guys, man, we're always our own biggest supporters. Make sure you support your teammates, you congratulate them in there. Spend some time with your families, eat some good food, and get ready to go back to work tomorrow.
Mario, does mentality change at this time of year when you know exactly where you stand in the CFP mix? When you see those rankings, I know you can only worry about the game that's in front of you, but you also know where you are according to that committee. Does that change mentality at all?
I think for us, man, we're always trying to play as well as we possibly can. We towards the end of this game, we're really banged up. You saw that. If I count I don't even want to count the number of starters that were down or had to be pulled, or with the trainer saying, hey, we got to pull this guy now. So you reach a point where, okay, now what's the deciding point, and what is a factor going into these next 7 minutes of football or 5 minutes of football? And I feel strongly we made the right decision in pulling the amount of guys we did due to the games that we have to play. That being said, our focus is always completely on that. And as a player, as a coach, you always know what's going on outside. You know the big picture. You know all the crazy chaos that comes over the course of the next 3 and 4 weeks, and that's good. And that's all right because it still boils down to us taking care of our business, and that's what we intend to do. Okay. Thank you, guys. Have a good night. Be safe.
Hello.
Just what did you like about what the defense was able to do overall today? I mean, you were able to keep them in check basically all game.
We were able to communicate. D-line was able to put pressure on that quarterback, and we were just able to dominate in all 3 levels.
How important was it for you guys to do that, especially coming off the SMU game, knowing you guys had to rebound quick in order to keep what you guys want to do this season alive?
It was important, you know. It's always good to have a win, bounce back after last week. But like I said, all 3 levels were executing properly, and we got away with a W today.
Go over to Tim Reynolds.
Keem, when, I know it's the other side of the ball, obviously, but when you see a lineman get thrown a backwards pass and he's able to find the end zone, what does that do for lineman morale?
Man, if you don't like a big lineman touchdown, I don't know if you like football.
Yeah, Akeem, just, speaking of the offense, when they're struggling early in the game, obviously it's not your side of the ball and you guys are going to try to get stops regardless, but, what's the mindset of the defense when it's like, okay, this game is tight, we need to keep the opponent off the board? Is there, what's the mindset of the defense in that situation?
At the end of the day, they don't score, they don't win. That's the mindset. That's it.
And then sort of building off that, just those last 2 minutes of the first half, offense goes down, gets a touchdown, you guys get 2 turnovers, one of them a pick six. Just what did that do momentum-wise for you guys going into the second half? And how good was it to see you guys build off of that in the second half?
So we always talk about winning the middle 8. So it's basically the last 4 minutes of the first half and the first 4 minutes of the second half. So getting those 2 turnovers, especially one for a touchdown, it gave us a huge momentum on defense because we were the first ones back up on the field, but also gave the offense a huge momentum. So, yeah.
Anyone else? Good.
How did it feel in the fourth quarter to get that last sack, and then for Coach Taylor to come up to you and give you a high body 5 afterwards?
It was great. As a defensive lineman, the best thing for me is getting sacks. So to be able to do that and then have JT come out and celebrate with me was amazing. Yeah.
For you guys, obviously, first set of playoff rankings came out this week. I'm sure you guys would want to be higher. What do you guys as players, you can only focus on it so much, I'm sure, but how do you guys kind of react to that and, maybe take that onto the field on, today?
Personally, I had no idea. Still have no idea where we're at. I haven't seen it. I haven't looked at it. I stay off Instagram for the past few weeks. I've been off Instagram, so I don't even know where we're ranked right now. So my job is to play football and just play the best of my ability and help the team win. So all that other stuff is just extra nonsense.
Anyone else? Thanks, Keith.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Staying off. CC, just walk me through the touchdown.
It's a play that we've been practicing for more than 2-3 years now. Finally, we got the opportunity to run it. Before the play, we had another formation in. I was like, what are we doing? Just give me the ball. Finally, somebody called a timeout. We got out there, me and Coop yelling at Coach, let's run it, come on. So it's fun, yeah. But, I was a bit mad about it. It's a good touchdown, but, I wanted to run over somebody. I was looking forward to running over somebody than touchdown, actually. But, yeah, so that's why there was no celebration.
Well said that he promised that to you when he was recruiting you. Did he actually promise you that?
Oh yeah. He told me a lot of things, and this was one of them.
Does it matter? I mean, it was a backwards pass, so in the way college stats are done, it goes into the books officially as a rushing touchdown. Does that matter to you, that it's not a receiving touchdown?
It doesn't really matter with me. I'm an offensive lineman. I mean, you can put me out there and you could throw the ball to me, but yeah.
Is this something you've often reminded Coach Mirabal and Mario about, that you're an option for such plays?
Oh yeah. I mean, you got to use the athleticism somehow. And if they want me to play, offensive tackle the whole time, I can do that. But it's that selfish mentality of I just want to do something with it. And yeah.
Really practiced that play for 3 years?
Yeah. We ran that like about 50 times now.
Really?
Yeah.
CC, is that your first touchdown, or when was the last time you had a touchdown? If not,
My last touchdown was probably Little Leagues. I was back in American Samoa when they put me at quarterback, running back. I was big at the time and kind of skinny, so they used me all around.
and then just one quick thing beyond that, just that touchdown you guys got at the end of the first half, that 2.5 minutes where you guys go from really nothing working to you guys get the touchdown, pick six, to be able to get that momentum. How important was that to get it there and then to sustain it through the rest of the game?
Hey, man. All props to that guy back there, man. Carson Beck, man. He's a leadership on this team. He took leadership, and, we just followed behind him. He took leadership, and, one drive at a time, one play at a time. That was the mentality.
A lot of the pre-snap stuff and offensive line penalties you guys had last week, I mean, you cleaned that up. What was practice like involving getting that stuff cleaned up and the way you guys focused on that?
Yeah. About the pre-snap penalties, we worked really hard on it during practice. We had every drive, every play, move call. Every play we got to prepare for it, and I feel like we prepared for it good, and something that we practiced that whole week, and it's going to continue to practice upon because now the other teams know that stuff, and just got to keep going.
Two more, Adam.
I noticed, in the first half, I think you guys gave up 2 sacks. I think it's the first time I think Carson's been sacked twice in a game all season. And then I think none in the second half. Just what were they doing that maybe made pass rushing a little bit, that they did well on pass rushing, and what did you guys adjust to?
It was really nothing. They game planned it really well, and we had our guys blocked up, but there was free guys. Maybe we could have pushed the call out to them and stuff like that.
Last question, Brian.
The run game, obviously, it kind of started slow, but then things progressed, and obviously, without Mark tonight, but you guys ended up doing a good job for Marty and Jordan, and Pringle came in as well. Just talk about the run game.
Yeah, I mean, as an offensive lineman, we always want to run the ball, and all props to the guys in the backfield that make plays. We just try to give them the best opportunity they can to do their stuff, and you could see it on film. I mean, with Pringles, he's making his cuts, runovers, and with making plays out there. We just want to give the ball to their hands, and just make plays.
Awesome. Thank you, CC.
Thank you.
Yeah, Gerard, can you just take us through your touchdown? What did it mean for you to get into a game in the ACC play and be able to do what you're able to do tonight?
It meant a lot. Thanks to my old linemen, they worked hard. I worked hard for this moment, and I'm just appreciative that I was able to get it with the guys I love to play football with.
And yeah, Gerard, just what's this season been like for you? Obviously, getting some opportunities, especially early in the year, getting a couple touchdowns, and now, with Mark out for, however long he's out for, getting a bigger role now as the season goes on. Just what's the season just been like for you? What have you learned?
Patience is key. I've been learning a lot from them guys, and they teach me patience as well. And I just take it and run with it, and great things happen from there.
What was going through your mind when they told you to go in, though? I mean, you're waiting, you're working every week. Now you're getting to go in the game. What went through your head?
I was prepared. Like I say, patience is key. All I got to do is keep pushing. I was ready and prepared. When he told me to go in there, there wasn't no second thoughts. I was ready to go.
For the freshman class as a whole, obviously, Malachi's having a great season. Bryce Fitzgerald has a bunch of picks. A lot of you guys are contributing in different ways. Just as a group, what does it mean to you guys that you've been able to come in and make a quick impact on, a team that's pretty good?
I just feel like it's that dog mentality that all the freshmen have. We all came in and worked from day one. We buy into what the older guys teach us, and we learn from them, and we just add it to our game.
Awesome. Thank you, Gerard.
Thank you.
Your receiving touchdown or your backwards pass to Francis, which do you enjoy more?
I enjoyed both of them. I thought that was so fun. We got down to the what was it, like the 4-yard line probably, and Coop started yelling at the sidelines that we needed to run the touchdown to Cece, and shoot, we went back out there, we called it. Everybody is like, oh my gosh, like Cece's about to score. I look, they're in the perfect coverage, perfect defense for us to actually let it hit. And I'm at the line, I'm like, just give him a catchable ball. Just give him a catchable ball, make sure he catches it. So I probably lobbed it a little bit too much, but man, I was so happy for him. I made sure I ran and grabbed the ball so that no one else took it so that he could, get it on the sideline. I ended up giving it to him on the sideline.
And then on just that first touchdown, the one that ended the second half, just how important was it to get that drive considering the way the offense started and to be able to start building momentum at the end of the half and that you could carry over?
Yeah, I mean, it was a slow start, obviously, as far as points go. But, sometimes it's about the field position battle. It's a chess game. And, they were able to pin us down, which is, good on their part, pin us inside the 10-yard line. And, we got out to the 50 and flipped the field position. And, sometimes when you start inside the 10, your goal is to get 2 first downs. That's the main goal. So sometimes it starts slow as far as points go. But, again, just playing that field position battle, we have a really good defense. Kind of leaned on them at the beginning. And then, obviously, you get that first go, and then you get the pick six. And it's kind of up and away from there. So I thought we played a really clean game tonight, just all facets of the game. So really, really proud of the guys and, how we were able to fight and just continue to battle and then ultimately exploded towards the end.
Magoa mentioned that he wanted to run somebody over. There was no one to run over. Did you want to run somebody over, or were you happy to have that clean run right to the goal line?
I was happy to have it clean, man. He called the play, and I was like, hold on, say it again. I was making it.
Call that play, and what do you guys say in the huddle? What do you say in the huddle?
I just called it, right? I knew that was going to be our first play, left hash. Inside the 20 that we were going to go to. So we're inside the 20. I'm waiting to hear it. And because obviously I wanted to run it. It was my first time ever having a receiving touchdown. So he called it, and I was like, my eyes got all wide. I'm calling the play, whatever, we're lining up the ball, and I'm literally just repeating it to myself in my head, like, catch the ball, catch the ball, catch the ball, catch the ball. And he when he threw it back to me, it was a little low. I was like, oh my gosh, this is going to get here. I stepped back to it. And then obviously I got the Great Wall of China in front of me to block everybody. So, man, that was super fun, super fun, great moment that I'll remember forever.
Carson, you went over 10,000 career yards passing today. It's a number not obviously a lot of guys have done in college football. I know the win's the big thing, but what does that number mean to you?
Yeah, I mean, that's pretty cool. That's the first time that I heard that. So, I don't know, man. Obviously, I mean, it's been a long career, and shoot, I mean, there's been a lot of adversity that I've had to fight through, and a lot of great teammates and a lot of great coaches along the way. So, you know, to be able to have an achievement like that obviously means a lot to me. But again, there was a lot of help along the way. So, but super excited to hear that and you have accomplished that.
Carson, obviously, things weren't clicking, first couple drives. What was not working? What was Syracuse do? Maybe continue to throw you guys off the first couple drives?
Shoot, I mean, they have athletes as well. Sometimes the defense has a say in things too, and the opponent has a say in things. And, they honestly just played a lot of zone, kind of played back, tried to take shots away from us. And, shoot, coming into the game, we wanted to, be aggressive and try to push the ball down the field. And, I mean, the first play of the game, we have a cross wide open that honestly 10 might go score, and they'd bat it down. So it's like, there's little things like that a lot of viewers don't see, throughout the game in little plays, but kind of just goes back to the chess match of what football is. And eventually, we're going to blow the top off, and that's the goal. And once we got in the end zone once, we sort of just kind of rallied, defense off offense, offense off defense. So sometimes you just need one, and you just got to keep fighting. And, our team has, constantly done that throughout the year. So, really proud of the guys and the way that we played today.
And obviously, this time of year, playoff rankings come out every week. I'm sure you guys would like to have been higher after this past week. So what's the mentality as far as that goes with the team? Like, do you guys talk about that at all? Do you consider it as just like focusing on the next opponent?
Shoot, just win every day, honestly. At this point, just keep it simplistic, be efficient, and be consistent. I think those are the three words that this team lives by and stands by. And if we can win Monday, then we move on to Tuesday, win Tuesday. And I think everything, will handle itself from there if we can continue to do that. So,
Carson, no turnovers. The pre-snap stuff was kind of not there today, so pretty clean football game from a mistake standpoint. Just how important is that to have that kind of a game in order to kind of beat any team on any given Saturday?
Yeah, absolutely. Again, it was a super clean game, and I think when all three facets of the game, special teams, defense, offense, right, are all working hand in hand, it creates those type of clean games, right? You eliminate the penalties, you eliminate the turnovers, and usually you have efficient plays that are going forward and moving in a positive direction, which ultimately leads to wins, right? And that's the goal, is to have efficient plays and have positive plays and eliminate negative plays. If you can do that, if you can have more positive plays than negative plays, usually it ends up working, especially as an offense. So I thought we played loose. I thought we had fun. And I think that's the biggest thing for us right now, is just going out there playing loose, and don't worry about the outside stuff. Don't worry about the noise. Don't worry about this, that, and the other. Just focus on what we have to do to execute each and every down, and shoot it. It worked for us tonight.
Carson, not to contradict, don't worry about the noise, but you know that there's 13 people or whatever in a hotel room in Dallas that are going to decide your fate. What did you guys show them in the last 2 quarters of this game tonight?
Yeah, like I kind of just said, and I'll kind of try to reiterate it, but for us, I think focusing on what we have to do and how we have to finish day by day, week by week, is the only thing that we can focus on. And if we're not internally focused and focus on that, then that's when we let things leak inside, and that's when things start to go south. So I think the more that we can continue to just internalize and focus on what we need to do, that will handle itself, right? And again, week by week, day by day, ultimately it all handle itself.
So just take care of what you can do, no message sending, none of that, just
absolutely
play it out.
Just go out and ball and have fun, man. Be Miami and be what the U is about. So,
Awesome. Thank you, Carson.
hell yeah. Thank you, guys.
Yeah, so Jacoby, can you take us through the interception and sort of when you realized it was an interception, just how everything played out there?
Yeah, I know I'm going to get clowned on social media for the next week, but an interception is an interception, a return to return. So, no, I didn't know I caught it. I thought the ball hit the ground, but I thought I heard the ref blow it dead, and then Mo was in my face screaming, go, so I just decided to go, and then it just kind of happened, so.
And just the defense overall, you guys had 3 turnovers, 5 sacks, a lot of tackles for loss. Just the complete effort from the group. What did you see today?
I think the guys, top to bottom, every guys that weren't playing, even walk-ons, showed up to meetings this week. We had a lot of player-led meetings this week where we talked about communication and how we need to approach everything from now on. I think you guys know we have a very exciting defense to watch. We just had to put it all together, and now we know what it takes. It's a little late, but we know what it takes, and we had fun tonight, and I think that's the biggest thing.
You and Keontae, 2 guys who came in, both from SEC teams, coming in late over the summer, playing big roles on the defense this year. Just what have you seen from Keontae and how he's kind of just excelled so far this year?
I credit it all to Coach Harris and Coach Etheridge. When we came in late, obviously some guys have a feeling about it. But, the way that they integrate us into the system and, they push us every single day, the very minute details is what it comes down to with those guys. And, the late night meetings that Keontae and me have, or sometimes he'll call me late at night and ask me what I see here or what. It's just, it's amazing to see my best friend go and do the things that I knew he would do. But just watching it day to day and how he's growing as a player each and every game, it's just amazing to watch. I love seeing it.
How much is that pick 6 that you guys fired up on defense?
First CD of the defense. I can't wait to watch that one back. I wasn't in the way this time, so it's exciting. Keontae's a fast guy. Caught it. He just took off. I didn't even have time to get in front of him, so it's fun to watch.
Do you think that play? I mean, obviously things had not been going perfect for the team as a whole through the first quarter and a half or so. Do you think that play and the touchdown that Malachi threw to Carson, do you think that kind of got you guys fired up and got you guys going?
Absolutely. Explosive plays are very determined by the game. Who has more explosive plays, that's who wins the game. I think that those 2 explosive plays that we had allowed our team to get a little bit more energetic, a little bit more hard-nosed football and play our game. I don't like that we started slow. I didn't know that, but we have fun, and that's the biggest thing for all of us is to have fun and enjoy it. It's a lot of guys last time playing in the stadium till next week. It'll be the last time, so just have fun with it.
Got a question in the back. Jacoby, you mentioned communication earlier, the stuff you guys talked about. Your perspective, can you explain that? What you feel like needs to be better? What you guys kind of discussed?
Communication is a big thing for every defense. Every great defense has great communication. There's sometimes where we're caught in calls, where we're not all in the right spot, not all on the same page. We got to get those things fixed. But, if everyone's allowed to communicate on this defense, so if you're wrong, if all 11 are wrong, all 11 are right. So that's the biggest thing, just, having pride to say what you need to say and get it out and be violent with communication.
How did that work tonight?
Worked pretty good. Gave up a couple plays. First drive out of halftime wasn't very good. I think we came out very sluggish. But, we got it fixed, got our head on straight and, settled for 3. It's a 4-point play, but, we got a lot to work on.
Anyone else? Great, thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you. Thanks.